Hello everyone! I thought I'd make a video to showcase my Endgame Poison Barrage Rogue build. It is very gear dependent in that you rely on stacking crit and lucky hit to make the aspect of bursting venoms work. So as long as you have high crit, as long as you have good enough lucky hit, you will be spawning these poison pools all over the place. And well, along with a few other skills and paragons and stuff that this build works with, it works really, really well for the end game. So let's get into it. So, like I was saying, it is a very gear dependent, as in, well, you most likely need the cowl of the Nameless to work, for it to work. You get all that lucky hit from that. But you also want some lucky hit and crit on gloves if you can get it. You want definitely some lucky hit and crit on your rings as well, just like here. If you can get a neck like this, well, it's not easy, but I actually bought this one off the vendor, so keep an eye out for that. And, well, if you have condemnation, it will help you, but, you know, it's not essential. So what kind of weapon do you want? You want a slow weapon, the kind that can pack as much a punch possible. Well, if you happen to have a bow that does have higher end damage than a crossbow, then use that, but you want usually a crossbow because of the vulnerable damage. In this case, I have a double stack on vulnerable damage. You also want to have Barrage, the Barrage glyph imprinted on it, because you want as many arrows as possible so that, well, we can proc as many effects as we can. Also, you want to have daggers equipped as your melee weapons because, well, daggers are faster and you won't be using them much. The damage from the daggers is negligible. You just want them to build combo points, and this is where condemnation really helps with the combo point specialization. So, the skills for this build are these, as you can see, well, on my bar anyway. You want Barrage, you want piercing, whatchamacallit, you want puncture as your builder with obviously the fundamental puncture spec. Then you want to get Barrage and go into the improved Barrage for vulnerable because, well, honestly, advanced Barrage is not even worth it. These 2 points, I find these two skills, I think they're really good. You should get these because, well, as much as you want to play ranged, you're still going to be tanking melee a lot. So, and these make you really durable. So I got some dash here. This is totally up to you. I would say the main skills for this build are definitely Barrage, Puncture, and Poison imbuement. I would consider Shadow imbuement as well, something you should have, but hopefully you get lucky and, you know, you get it out of your neck just like I did. Because, well, as you can probably see, I have 0 points invested into it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves then. I also invest in Agile and Mending Obscurity because, well, I like Concealment, which is totally up to you as well. But honestly, I think Concealment is essential to endgame progression. And since I'm concealing, might as well, you know, heal while that happens. Agile also works very well because you will be spamming a lot of cooldowns. I'll show you later. Especially, anyway, just think of the opportunities you get to proc this when you're standing on a poison pool from the venom aspect. In this case, I took Dark Shroud just to get the the 8% crit when this lucky hit aspect procs. What else? So we do have exploit and malice. We go for that max points. We skip weapon mastery because, well, honestly, 15% crit damage is not worth 3 skill points. It is worth the 12% increased damage to vulnerable if you have a bow. So, like I was saying, even though I have shadow imbuement on my bar, I don't even own it. I just get it from my neck, and you want poison imbuement, as many points as you can get. You want to get mixed poison imbuement because, well, you'll see. Deadly Venom also got 3 points from my neck, which is pretty sick. You will be doing most of your damage will be poison, except for your AoE damage, which will be shadow, but I'll show that off in a minute. You want precision imbuement because, well, max crit chance. Mentioned that before, right? I got Innervation for extra energy. Well, since we're going for like lucky hit, might as well, right? And Alchemist Fortune to get you some extra lucky hit as well on non-physical damage, which is pretty much everything you'll be doing. Adrenaline Rush just gets you up to haste. Haste is important in case you happen to drop on your energy. Also handy for the movement speed. And finally, one of the real reasons we take this build works is Victimize. Since you'll be stacking crit and lucky hit, well, you'll be doing a lot of crits that will proc lucky hit, and then you're going to be doing AoE damage, and then you'll be healing from the Victimize passive. Skill, I mean, with the Cruel Sustenance legendary skill. Let's see, other legendary skills I have is, well, I already showed this one off. It's up to you, you know, when it comes to the defensive passives. I think I have the best that work for me, but it's a very personal thing. I do like this passive because, well, you need crowd control for endgame, and, well, most likely you're going to get some kind of damage to slow, damage to crowd controlled, damage bonus on your gear, so might as well get this. For my neck, I went all out on defensive and picked the cheats aspect, and it makes a huge difference. You might have noticed, you know, a tone with my choices in terms of gear. Yeah, I go mostly defensive on my legendary skills because, well, let's be honest, rogues are kind of squishy. And here I got the expectant, well, whatchamacallit, I don't even know what this one is. The one where you build up your core skill damage as you do your basic skills. Due to condemnation, I don't always have this at max, but it might be, and it's still a decent enough damage increase. In this ring, I have, well, not the preferable roll for the enchantment, but you want to get 40%, but this is what you want to get, extra potency to your imbuement effects. And on my offhand weapon in this case, I do have the aspect that makes you do more damage when you have full resource. I don't always have full resource, but there is a very high chance that I'm at full resource or next to it every time I hit with my Barrage skill. So just to show off a few paragon points that are very important, you know, this is one of the bases of this build. Every time you cast an imbuement skill, you reduce the active cooldown of another imbuement, right? So why do I only have 2 imbuments? You know, that's 0.5 seconds every single rotation, right? No, because, well, you're gonna have poison pools. And let's say you're in those poison pools, you can infinitely spam the the poison imbuement, and as you're doing that, you're reducing the cooldown of your shadow imbuement. Very handy in situations where you want to AoE. Obviously, the extra damage to imbued skills is also a factor. And this one, I got the poison damage strength passive, and you notice there's a 10% chance to double the amount of damage during the duration. And if you recall, there's also this right here based on lucky hit. I don't know if you can see a pattern there. Anyway, I actually picked up the Cunning Stratagem Legendary node. I am not 100% sure this is the best choice I could be making right now, but I do know that by the time my Paragon is filled, I do want this. I will show you though. If you realize, instead of you actually increase by 1 arrow every time you use 3 points, and since I'm using Condemnation, that's very likely, even with just the one puncture cast. And even though it does extra damage, that's not just what we want. It's another guaranteed arrow that will guarantee another piercing effect, and that piercing effect will has a 50% chance to get 2 arrows out of that. And it's just a way, to spread the misery around your opponents, because other than shadow imbuement, your AoE will not be the best, but it is also another way to get your lucky hits to proc. So then, back to Paragon. Where were we? Oh yes. I also took this baby because, well, extra resistance, sure, it's great, and you will be using these a lot, just like I said. And it also gives you a 20% increased damage. Fine. So here we take the marksman skill damage glyph. I think it says it all, skill damage is essential to increase your damage. And actually, I also like the passive one. When you're wielding a ranged weapon, you take reduced damage. And that will be, like at least 2/3 of the time, maybe even longer in progress, not rifts, nightmare dungeons, there you go. And finally, I also have this baby, which is poisoning damage effects last 33% when active, other than obviously damage to poison. You might think, does this increase the damage? Yes. Since it lasts 33% longer, it does 33% extra damage, and you will be doing some crazy poison ticks. I easily stack my poison ticks to 600,000 or more, as long as the fight is long enough. And, well, let's be honest, not most fights are, but let's see what we can do with it. Eventually, I plan on getting this as well and ending my Paragon here, but Paragons are a bit up to you, though there are a few that are very, very helpful, just like this one. Anyway, now that I showed you off my build and gear, how about I show you how it works? Oh, here we go. We got a Helltide going. Let's show it off in a regular level 89 environment, just like I am now.
Can't do that here.
So pay attention to what I do with the poison pools. It's not worth dying over, but it is definitely worth focusing on. Did you see it? And yes, my cooldown is back.
Time.
I hope you realize, that whenever I'm on cooldown in Shadow Environment, I can just stand on the poison pool and spam it a bit and get my cooldown back. Let's look for some more mobs.
Time.
I'm at a point where, I just destroy everything at this outside of Nightmare Dungeons.
I'm not ready yet.
Just gonna build up some infernal whatevers so I don't waste them.
Not in town.
And then, how about I go show you off a higher level Nightmare Dungeon. This guy just did the event. Hopefully it starts up again. They tend to start up very often during Helltides. You can probably tell I can take quite a few hits. That's the beauty of passives, headshots, and skills. Enjoy this. Yep, that's what I meant, with poison. That's why you want to get some poison affixes on your gear, like plus damage with poison, plus damage to poison, you know, what you can afford after you get, you know, the crit and lucky hit, obviously.
I need more time.
You know what? I feel like getting a weapon. I'll just build up a few more cinders. Oh, look. Ah, damn. This guy ruined it. I didn't mention this, but obviously you want as high a damage ranged weapon you can get. I did say the slowest, I did say the highest damage if you're a bow, but highest damage possible. Hopefully with good affixes. You definitely want vulnerable damage on it. Thought I was gonna get jumped by mobs. Alright then, so now let's just go to town and then we can do some nightmare dungeons. So I just got into the nightmare dungeon. And obviously I'm getting attacked by this crap. I took a random elixir and let's see how the run goes. So they're 11 levels above me. And really, you know, just use a random sigil on my back.
Need more time.
Okay, this one's cool. Famous last word.
Need more time.
Can't take anymore.
Need more time.
Thank you, Wanderer. Without you, I'd be dead. Think I can manage from here? Please, take this.
Need more time.
This is probably the boss area, yeah. So, let's go back. And that I love poison damage.
Not ready.
defense says the math doesn't add up
As you
right.
can see, it's
Says she
quite
saw
effective
you
against
skulking
elites.
around the
All you need to
reserves
do
last
is,
night.
well, you can just
Said you were
conceal,
short 2
go up
boxes
to
of the good
them,
stuff.
build
No
weakness,
need to worry.
combo
I
points,
know you'll make it
shoot,
right.
get out,
And I know you'll
and
come
wait
tell me
like 10
exactly
seconds and you're
how.
dead.
I'd hate to let you go. The waters like you, my friend.
Don't have any potions.
And that's it. Sorry guys, I saw my opportunity to rush, and I did. As you can tell, this is a very effective build. I don't know if anyone else is doing something similar, but I haven't seen anyone. So hopefully it inspires people to try something like this. Just remember, dash is not necessary. I have it on my boots and I love it. It makes up for my lack of reflexes. Concealment, I would consider it essential, but the real bread and butter of this is the shadow imbuement, the puncture, and the barrage. Puncture to build weakness and slow. Barrage, well, it's your main source of damage. Also procs all your lucky hit and crits. And shadow imbuement because, poison imbuement because poison damage, come on. Everything else, well, I just tailored it up to me. You do you. Hopefully it works out. Thanks, guys.